Welcome to Good Questions, Good Answer. How are you?
Oh, I'm happy to join you again. And actually, you have a European background, looking at the background. But actually, I am the one who is in Europe.
I'm in Thailand. Anyway, now, so the questions that we have from our audience today is it's about situation right now at hand, which is about the COVID-19 lockdown, which has caused many wonder to many people. Why such natural occurrence or why something like this do happen? It is a punishment from somewhere from the mother nature or something else? Can you giving us another more explanation that maybe our audience can be understand in the Buddhist perspective this time?
So yeah, you hear this a lot. When we talk about COVID online on social media, you hear a lot of people talk about how this is a punishment.
Yes.
That the world is being punished either by some higher intelligence like God, or some, like you mentioned, Mother Nature, or some mechanic of nature. The world is trying to get rid of all the bad people or something like that.
Yes.
We have to be careful what we think about this situation. But if we look at it from our perspective, then I think what we can conclude is that there's a lot of bad things in life that happen to us, to the world, that are because of the bad things we have done in the past. We can call this the law of karma. But it's also important to realize that what is most important is how we act in the present, and then we can improve for the future.
Oh, okay.
So when we look at it as a punishment, it may be a little bit too limited.
So in this law of karma, it's more like what you did, it will come back to you like the cause and effect, right?
Yeah, you can say that. It's simplified, but that's how it works. And of course, if you have many people, then you of course will find that this law of karma will interact. Karma of one person will interact with the karma of another person. So it can happen that many people receive similar karma.
So I see. So that means like many people around the world have to facing this kind of thing is because we are having similar karma together. That's why this kind of thing happen.
Not necessarily together. I mean, there are some philosophies that believe that there's something like group karma, that everyone has done something in the past together, and because of that, we receive the karma. But usually, it's not like that.
I see.
In fact, what is the case is that most people have done similar karma, similar type, and then it all comes together, but not together. I mean that in the past, many people might have. I mean, suppose you people get killed in a bus accident. Suppose it doesn't mean that all these people have been killing other people in the past in the same way, in the same time, in the same group. But it might be that they have all been involved in death in some way, and therefore in this life they receive that karma for being killed in a bus accident.
I see.
But I would like to emphasize that the law of karma is not about, is not saying that any suffering is justified.
Can you also explain that too? Thank you.
Yeah, so it's important that when people think about law of karma, you know, that people will say that when they see somebody else suffering, they say, yeah, it's your karma, you have to cope with it.
Oh, like what, good for you or something like that?
Yeah, right. Something like when somebody does something wrong and then gets suffering straight away, then we say it's instant karma.
Kind of like rejoice in their misfortune too, huh?
Yeah, that's a good point. We should rejoice in the misfortune of other people, because karma is never about justification. There is no big man with a long beard behind all of this and then giving everyone his karma. This is about the law of nature. And in Buddhism, we do not think that it's a good thing. that people are being punished for their bad deeds. It's just a thing that happens by nature. And once we are aware of that, then we can teach people that make mistakes not to make those mistakes again. Most importantly, of course, ourselves.
Yes, that's the right approach because many people sometimes may be wondering, thought about what is wrong with right now. However, now we understand what you have sharing our wisdom. Maybe they can use this knowledge to correct their past, not to ever repeat the same mistake again. Is there any some advice you like to tell our audience?
Yeah, so the law of karma is a teacher most of all. So when we learn about the law of karma, we can learn that everything we do matters. And everything we do comes back to us. So that's why it's important that when we are faced with suffering, with adversities, and in the current crisis of Corona, that we realize that, okay, there may be mistakes that humanity as a whole, that everyone may have made similar mistakes in the past, and now it's coming back to us. But the most important thing is how we deal with it now. You know, some teachers in our tradition are saying that it's because in the past we may have rejoiced in the misfortune of other people, like you mentioned. That may be the cause. But of course, it's difficult to say exactly what is the cause of a karma, because as the Buddha, he said, karma is something that is imponderable. That means we cannot understand it by our own thought and intellect completely. It's very complex. But the most important thing is that we realize the importance of the mind. Everything we do with a good mind brings good results into our lives and into the lives of the people around us. So if we start over, that's the best. And when we are leading good lives, then our environment will also change as a result. So we take more responsibility.
So that means that these are the effect that to the whole people as a whole. It's more like a collective karma. So that's therefore, if everyone doing the good things, making them in a good quality, in a positive way, maybe it could change the way and heal the nature, make it better for the future.
Right.
All right. Well, I think this is a good answer for at this time. Well, we just have another question coming in from our audience. The thing is, you see, before we understand all these concepts that you have explaining to us and gladly accepting, but somehow it just happened that we just got infected by the virus. In this case, what should we think? How can we handle in this situation? Let's say if someone already got infected, how do we do after this?
This is a very sad thing. Actually, I've heard of two of our supporters, two of our people in Italy who have died because of the coronavirus. They were supporters of our temple. So this is very visible, and it's important. The important thing is that whenever people are, when your loved ones or you yourself find yourself falling ill, it's important to as quickly as we can to do something about it, of course, and to be there for your loved ones. And even if we cannot always be with them, we can at least be close to them or try to connect with them as often as we can. It's important that we do not flee from this.
Yes.
Because if we flee from this problem, then we will never forgive ourselves. So actually, the other day, my mother was ill, and she's a doctor, so she quickly concluded that it might be a form of COVID. And she fortunately she has recovered. She has not gone to the hospital because she was able, her body was able to deal with it. She's quite healthy. But it was quite a difficult time for me. I mean, it was kind of difficult part of me. I asked her every day, but I didn't want to ask her every hour how she was doing, because it's something, it's an enemy that we cannot see. which is the most scary enemy of all. So that's important.
So at least you are be there for her and encourage, also giving her positive feeling.
I cannot actually see her, and I could not see her during the time when she was ill. So maybe later on, but we at least can contact each other through some chat or something like that.
Yeah, at least
so there's
that's still
ways
some way. Good.
we can help our loved ones.
Yes, so the important is if something happen like this, we should always be there for them, even though we cannot go near them or so showing out the getting there or be there for them. At least we can still contact them. That is good enough to help them have a strength to go on. Earlier, the question was about if someone we love have infected, but what about if it happened to us? How can we overcome? How can we gain strength to go on?
Yes, so this is something which is difficult to imagine because it didn't happen to me. But I have been ill with another condition, but not COVID. I remember when I was ill some time ago because of I have some food intolerance, and there was some food that I ate and I had the hiccups. And normally when we have the hiccups, it's not a serious thing, right? But in this case, I had them all day long and for several days. And this was I had the hiccups for about 4 days. So that was pretty intensive, and it was difficult for me to do anything apart. But I remembered that there were two things, actually only one thing that helped me to deal with it. That was meditating. Because even when I tried to sleep, I would still hiccup, and it would become painful to my neck and to my back. But when I meditated, it would disappear. So I think from that, it's just a reminder how strong meditation is and how powerful. Even if we are not very advanced meditators, but just the fact of you settling down in your mind and coming down to peaceful quiet just has such a powerful effect on our entire being that the illness and disease has far less grip on us. Even if we have some illness that cannot be prevented, but at least the illness will not affect us that much. So that's the only thing I can tell about that. I don't have any direct experience. But I've heard of people that it's a lot to do with the immune system, the COVID-19 illness, and it has a lot to do with your respiration system. So all of that is very much tied in with the way our mind and body are connected. So I think meditation is a very powerful tool. So right now, if all people in the world would learn how to meditate, that might actually be the most strongest, most powerful, and most direct way that this COVID-19 will be finished within a week, or perhaps even within a day. That's what I really believe.
Yeah, me too. However, now the answer that you have given us is very inspiring. If our mind stays strong, it can also improve our immune system. So our body can gain its strength to fight and overcome this virus. So everyone, no matter what happens, stay strong. Practice meditation can also help you gain strength, both body and mind, to continue. Thank you very much, Venerable Standard. Well, everyone, these are the answer from Good Questions, Good Answer. Hopefully, this helps clear and solve the mystery in your mind. And thank you very much for joining our program. So in conclusion here, please, if anything happens to your life, don't give up. Stay strong and try to be positive. And also, if we start our life to be positive, to do good and be happy, I'm sure everything will be settled down because our mind just also having effect to our world as well. So that's everyone. Stay strong, stay positive, and we shall overcome this together. See you again in our next Good Questions, Good Answer.